Sweaty Guy Barbecue. Hey, it's nearly the 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to each and every one of you. We're celebrating our independence of our country. It's been almost 12 barbecued years. I don't know. Been a long time. We hope you enjoy all the great things in this country that we have. So we're going to be cooking outside today, but we're prepping inside because it's too god blazing hot to be outside. Cooking in our new cooker that we have called King Cooker.
King Cooker!
King Cooker. Doing some beef chuck, boneless, petite, tender steak. Yeah. You may have seen these briefly in another video that we just did, talking about how to split up the large quantities into smaller quantities and save them for later. We're going to be doing 4 of these today in our dish, and we'll talk about that in a minute. First thing I want to talk about is the preparation. You know, preparation A through G was a complete failure, so preparation H, we know it turned out right. We're going to want to be cutting these very thinly so we can cook them. But I also want to talk about getting out some of that gristle, because gristle sucks. Nobody likes to eat the gristle. And there's not much on these, which is a good thing, because nobody likes to eat that very much. I guess there's probably a few that do. And I didn't sharpen this knife. So we're just going to take that off. Probably give that to the dogs. Not be making tallow or anything like that today. So, although that worked out pretty dang good last time we did it, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was nice stuff. And the pieces left over were good too. Oh, I should have got it. I'm gonna get a different knife. That one's terrible. Yeah, I'm sitting down too with my feet are. That's all right. And we want to talk about cutting these steaks because it's real easy to actually cut these and screw them up. Because even as long as I've been doing this, I still screw them up when I cut them. The reason I say that is we want to cut these against the grain. And you'll see why in a minute when I start cutting them. For what we're doing today is we're going to marinate these once we cut them open. Or cut them up. Cut them open. Doctor? We want to cut them up, and we want to cut them against the grain so that you can see the grain open up. And what that'll do is they'll make them way more tender when we go to marinate them, cook them, and eventually eat them, I hope. So you can kind of see the grain right there. Kind of see how they kind of open up when you pull on them. Kind of see it on that one too. So let's see if we can show the wrong way and the right way. We want to do them fairly thin. Okay, now you see how that doesn't pull apart like that? We don't want that. We don't want them to not pull apart. So let's see what happens when we go the other way. That doesn't pull apart either. We cut it both ways and it still don't pull apart. This one looks like it's the right way though. So we're going to go that way. I'm going to get my cleaver because I like cutting with this better. But the point being is we want the grain to, no wait a minute, let me look at this one here. And I do struggle with this, gang, I really do, I'm not going to lie to you. Even throughout as many years as I've been doing this, I still do struggle to see the grain. And I don't know if it's, because I went to the Ray Charles School of Driving or whatever. There. Now you see how you can see the grain coming apart in that? That'll let not only the flavors penetrate our meat, but it also makes it a little bit easier to chew once we get to that point. We want that to happen so we can have that easier bite once we go to eat these things. And we want them to be chewy, tender, nice to eat. We don't want to be sitting there gnawing on this thing like it's an old piece of shoe
leather.
You got it, that's right. This kid, he's been learning with me, he's been working with me, he's been helping me, he's been teaching me as well. All year long so far, and it's been fantastic. And I really appreciate him. You go by Stammerfab on TikTok as well?
No.
No? You want to shout out your TikTok on here?
No.
No? Okay.
It's fine.
Alright.
Too cringy.
Too cringy? Not for the pleasant of work.
Not for your
Right.
your type of viewers. More of a 18 plus kind of
Well,
thing.
I got a lot of those too. I probably got more of a 40 plus crowd. But
Oh, believe me, I have people mom's age calling me daddy. I'm like,
No.
yeah, no, you're old enough to be my mother. Please leave me alone.
Stop it!
Pretty much.
Alright, so let's take a look at this one now. And I do this with each individual piece. I think we'll be okay on that one. Again, looking for the grain, looking to cut opposite direction of the grain, so the meat will breathe a little more, it will expand a little bit. So, yeah, that's kind of scary. People are weird.
Yeah.
It's also why I avoid TikTok. You know, I do have a TikTok account, but I just don't use it, and that's all right. Each to each their own. So, we've already prepared ahead of time. If you did see the previous video where we're doing some warm-ups for this, we did cut our vegetables up already, and we've got some nice thinly sliced 3 different colors of peppers. We've got some green peppers, got some orange peppers, and I think we did red pepper as well. Yeah, some sweet peppers over there. And we've also got some shredded carrots that we got pre-shredded because, quite frankly, I don't have the time or the strength to be shredding carrots as well. We also have some bamboo shoots that we cut down to a little more moderate size, bite size, if you will. And we also
Bamboo shoots and the mini corn.
Yes, the baby corns. Again, they came in the whole pieces. And we wanted to have them in a little more bite size pieces because not all of us want to stick an entire piece of baby corn in our mouth at once. And they're easier to pick up with a fork. So we cut those down into quarters. And that way we'll have the ability to have those in very edible sizes as well. Now what we're going to do today, again, like I said, boy, that's got some nasty in there. We got to get rid of that because Lord knows you want to bite into that one here. Not expecting it.
Nope.
Nope.
No grizzly in this household.
Very low. You know, there are some people out there who say, oh, but that fat's the flavor, maybe. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's very true. All right, we're not going to worry about that. All right.
Maybe flavor, but I have texture issues with food, so
Yeah.
I don't want it.
You're not the only one, believe me. All right. We'll get down to this last steak, and then we're going to marinate this. We're going to give it just a little bit of love. Now, we're going to keep the marinades relatively simple, and we've done both in the past where we've gone wild and crazy with, you know, things like juices and sodas and all kinds of craziness, and it's fun and it tastes good. And then on the other hand, we're going to go relatively simple sometimes. And I think today we're going to go relatively simple. Today it's more about techniques, more about learning to cut the foods. And again, you'll see how that meat kind of stretches out and you can see the grain in there, and that's going to let our flavors get in there and not only tenderize that meat, but it's also going to give it a lot easier chew when it comes time to eat. That's very important. Because even when you have a little bit tougher cut, now this is an Angus tender, should be relatively tender to start with, and my cleaver is fairly sharp, but it's still gliding through that pretty easily. Even if you get a tougher piece of meat, you can still make it relatively tender just by preparing it properly, marinating it properly, and eventually cooking it properly. All right, so our marinade. Everybody marinate. Going to be pretty simple. We use our favorite ingredient, garlic. We all love garlic. Everybody loves garlic. Going to add probably a tablespoon, maybe. Yeah, let's go with 2. A couple of tablespoons of ye old garlic. Everybody loves garlic. Wash your sister sauce. And add a few tablespoons of that as well. Because, you know, wash your sister sauce is fantastic on beef. It can go for other things, but it's always good in beef. We've got some soy sauce because we are doing a
Asian inspired dish.
sort of, yeah, like a stir fry kind of a thing going on. So we're going to add a few tablespoons of soy sauce. And then we're going to top that off with a Apparently we're not going to top it off with this because I can't get the cotton picking bottle open. Oh, it's got one of those kind. Okay. I always hate these things because my fingers do not fit in there. Not even the little finger will fit in there. Holy crap. You want to try it? Yeah, go ahead. The joys of having enormous hands. This is a pure black sesame oil. We're just going to add maybe 2 tablespoons of that as well. We'll be using that later on also to help us with our wok in the King Cooker.
King Cooker!
And, you know, we don't have
Pinky's out.
Pinky's out, that's right. We don't have to immerse this in here to marinate properly. We are probably going to just stir it in real good. We're going to get all the flavors in there. We got to add salt and pepper too. I almost forgot. Little salt, little pepper. Not too much salt just because, you know.
Heart healthy.
Heart healthy. You got it there, sister. Miss Kathy's home enjoying time with us for a few days. A little bit of pepper just to jazz it up. I thought about adding some sugar, but we are on the low-carb diet kick right now, trying to get the blood sugars down to help out lose weight and kick Pokey Fun Boy's butt. Now we're doing a body transformation challenge with Pokey Fun Boys Wayne and Pokey B Kid, and trying to get more healthy. Always good for everybody. Best of luck to you guys. And we're hoping it makes a change for all 3 of us, no matter who. Most important. All right, so there's our marinade. We are going to put the lid on this, and we're just going to let this rest. We'll stir it maybe once or twice before we get out to cooking. Probably be about 2 hours. For you guys, it'll be about 2 seconds. Here we go. All right, it's hot, it's sweaty, so we're going to get to cooking. Now, if you take a look at the meat here, we got it all done up, drained off. You can see it's taking on the color of our wash your sister sauce and our soy sauce. Saved a little bit of the liquid. We're going to use that in a little bit. We've got King Cooker warming up, getting ready to do our walking after midnight. Going to add a little bit of our pure black sesame oil, probably a couple of tablespoons, just to keep things from sticking, even though we've got it seasoned. This is our first official time using King Cooker. So we're going to give that a shot. Man, it is hot out here. It is hotter than blazes. And the first thing we should not be doing is cooking. But that's okay. We make more heat, contribute to the cause. Got all our vegetables out here. We've got our corn, baby corn, our bamboo shoots, our peppers, our carrots, and everything ready to go. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. Temperature check. It's getting warm. Still learning to use the regulator on that thing. I don't have my eyeballs here. I can't see very well. So our oil is getting hot. We're going to throw our meat in. This should only take a few minutes to cook. You're going to hear it's already sizzling. Now, I don't have my spatula out here. These are the tools they give me with King Cooker. I think I want that a little hotter. We'll try that way. So come on over here and take a look and you can see. Come on over here. It's okay. I promise I won't bite you hard. We're going to lay this out and get this cooking so they cook nice and evenly. They are relatively thinly cut. I think I turned it off. Yep, I did. Yep, I turned it off. Got to relight the grill. Of course, my propane torch died. So we're doing it the hard way. Again, we're learning as we go too, gang. There we go. Let's get some heat in this thing. It's a little breezy today too, so we're having a little bit of trouble keeping everything going, but that's all right. She'll heat up quick. We want to lay these all kind of flat in here as best we can. That way they'll cook evenly. Thinly cut so they'll cook really, oh yeah, see how fast that came up the temperature? This thing cooks at nuclear temperatures. Really, really quick. And we like that because we don't want to be out here very long. It's 90-ish degrees, plus the heat index, plus it's sunny. We got shade under here, so miss my spatula. I got a nice metal wok spatula that I really like cooking with, but that's inside. I don't want to make a third trip inside even though it's air conditioned. I would have got spoiled by going in there. So just a few minutes to cook these off. We'll get them going. You can see how fast they're taking on their color as well. Gonna be fantastic. I can't wait for this. Got the garlic in there doing its thing. Black sesame oil. Worcestershire sauce and soy sauce. Did it go out again?
No,
Nope, it's going good.
hot.
Tis hot. You can feel the heat, huh? Probably take a step back and use the zoom feature.
It's all right.
You're all right?
Yeah.
Like I say, this won't take more than a few minutes each time. So we always like to cook our meat first. That way everything gets cooked for food safety. We don't have to worry about that. We got a separate bowl to put everything in when it's done. So we won't have any contamination. And I was going to bring a lid out so we could steam our vegetables a little bit. I think they're probably steaming just sitting in the bowl. Let's get the other things out of the way and get our vegetables prepared while we're waiting for the meat to finish cooking. See all the nice colors we got. Everything's going to be great. Look at that yummy color. Look at that. That's almost done already. It's only been a couple of minutes. We're going to have a little extra juice in there. That's perfectly okay. We're going to show you how we're going to take care of that in just a minute. I think that's just about done, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Because we are going to be adding meat back in. So I think we're going to call that done for the meat. That only took a few minutes. So I'm going to grab my, because I don't have my welding gloves out here, which I probably should. This sucker is going to be hot. Get that out of the way. One other thing I don't have is a decent sized table out here, which I also should have. We've got our tables temporarily tied up. We're going to put that all in there. Get it out of the way. Again, with wok cooking, a lot of times you're putting things in, taking things out, putting things back in, taking things back out. There we are. That's a heavy sucker too. Oof. All right, back on the heat it goes. Warm it back up again. There we are. Now it's time for the vegetables. Now the peppers and the carrots are going to take a little bit longer to cook. So we're going to add those in first. Waste not, want not. Scrape the bowl. Get them all out. There we are. Look at that. I'd say look at that tomato, but we don't do tomatoes. We're going to give these just a few minutes to get all that leftover juice incorporated. Get them flavors cooked in there nice. Sweat them out a little bit. We don't want to make them soggy, so we want to leave a little bit of crunch left in them there. Give those a couple of minutes by themselves, and then we're going to add in our mushrooms, our baby carrot, corn, and our
sprouts.
Thank you. Bamboo shoots.
Bamboo shoots.
Bamboo shoot. Shoot. Because those will take a little less time. They're a little more delicate than these are. So we want to add those after these have had a few minutes, and then they can go a few minutes longer. Gosh, it's hot out here. Whew. Brother Mickey always talks about how hot it is in the south, and he's absolutely right. Where they get months of this heat, we get weeks of this heat. But we do get it. They just don't get the sub-zero temperatures like we do, not very often anyway. They did get more snow than we did last year, though, which is very unusual. There we go. Look at that colors. That brilliant color. Doesn't that look nice? Mm-hmm. I actually cut things fairly evenly for a change. Kind of unusual. All right. Let's add our sauce in a little bit. I'm going to add some of this leftover sauce. And we want to add it now because there is raw meat potential contamination. But since we're adding it in to cook, that should take care of that problem as well. So we won't have that problem anymore. People say, oh, you got raw meat touching in there. Yeah, it'll be cooked just fine. Don't worry about it. We do want that flavor in there as well. And you say, well, yeah, I got extra liquid in there. Don't worry, we got that covered too. Yep, we do. I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. I kind of want to turn that heat up more, but I'm afraid to, because remember, if you watch the video when we seasoned this thing, man, she got nuclear hot. We had it turned up pretty high, and she went, woo! And I went, uh-oh. Well, we're learning. Always a learning curve to a new contraption. This one's very nice. Really happy with it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'll let that go right there. There we go. I think this is going to be just about the right amount of vegetables for 4 people, and maybe have 1 or 2 leftover dishes. So
Yep.
that'd be pretty good. saw the other video we did where we saved and froze some of this stuff. We'd have had way too much dang food if we'd have left everything together. Holy moly, we would have been way too much. Looks good so far, and this thing's cooking really nicely. I got the temperature regulated where I'm pretty happy overall. Maybe a touch hotter, but I think I have to paint some numbers on there so even I can figure it out. Maybe some colors. No words though, can't read. Oh, smell that? I wish I had a smellophone. You guys could smell this, it'd be great. Alright, let's add in our other vegetables. We'll get our mushrooms. I actually want to wait on the mushrooms for just a minute longer. Baby corn and bamboo shoots. We'll get those guys in there because they aren't as delicate as the mushrooms. We'll get those guys going in there. Now, I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like a variety of textures in my food. I know some people say, well, I've got texture issues in food. Some people in the family included. But these are a variety of textures and flavors that should not upset the turnip truck too much. And no turnips. They also add a variety of colors. And they are smaller, so they're more fork accessible and palate accessible. Yet, if you do not like one of those, you can easily pick them out. Not too bad. Kind of like with the mushrooms I'm going to add. Like Danielle doesn't like mushrooms, but they're easy enough to pick out. The mushroom of choice today is a baby Bella, one of my personal favorites. So we're going to be adding those as well. Pre-cut for us already. They're going to be fan-bloody-tastic. We'll give those just a minute longer, and then we'll add those baby Bellas. Before we add the meat back in, and you can see that some of the meat has sweat a little bit, so we've got some extra liquid in there, which is great because we want that. When I show you what we're going to do with that extra liquid. Wow, it's warm out here. Holy moly, am I sweating bad. Doesn't help standing next to the Nucleator 9000 here. But that extra liquid that we've got in there is going to help us out at the end. Yeah. It's time for mushrooms. Here we go. Add them mushrooms in. Those are going to be good. I like adding mushrooms to a lot of different dishes because mushrooms are one of my favorite foods in the whole world. Now what we're going to be watching for is those mushrooms to start to change color and change texture just a little bit. That's when we're going to know that the vegetables themselves are going to be getting done. See, even when we took half of those peppers and things out, look at how much food is still in there. That's a lot of food. Now when we add those steak back in, those beef, man, that's going to be a ton of food. Oh, yeah, look at that. Holy cats, am I sweating. Please forgive my sweat towel. Ooh. Cold drinks are very important today. Make sure you stay hydrated in weather like this.
They're watching the cooking.
I'm sorry?
They're watching the cooking.
Oh, they're watching
not
the cooking.
you.
Nah, that's probably a good idea. Nobody wants to watch me. Watch the food. You're smart. You do good camera angles. Watch the food, not the fat guy. What do you think so far? Looking good? Mm-hmm. Looking good. Now I know this isn't the barbecue that you're used to where it's ribs and briskets and pulled pork and all that kind of thing.
We want variety.
Well, right. Variety is the spice of life, and that's very important to have your vegetables as well. And let's face it, if you sat out here for 10 hours on a day like today, you'd be melted into the ground. I would be too. So it is important to have other things. And this is a dish that anybody could make, even if you did it in the house in a frying pan. Anybody can make this. Anybody can. We just try to show you the things that it takes to make it. Nothing's real hard. There's no crazy ingredients. You can add or subtract any of the vegetables that you like. Take out the ones that you don't. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Hockey smokes, Bowinkle. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this out. Now I'm going to prep this ahead of time. Now what I'm doing here is I'm draining out some of the excess fluid. I was going to do this in the wok, but I think I'm going to do this ahead of time out on the side. And what I'm doing here is I'm using cornstarch. There's one of the guys that I watched way back in the day when I was learning to cook. Stephen Yan. Wonder powder. And we're going to add probably just about a tablespoon. As he called it, wonder powder. Wonder powder. Cornstarch. Very, very useful, especially in Chinese cooking.
And gravy.
And gravy as well, yes, absolutely critical in gravy. People say use flour. Flour is great. I like using cornstarch. I think it works fantastic. I'm gonna add that to that extra liquid that we have there.
It doesn't get as clumpy.
Very true. Listen to Miss Kathy, she knows. So our vegetables are getting very well done, very nice. Not medium rare, well done. See how those mushrooms are starting to take on the color? Looking like they're getting cooked, looking great. So we're gonna add our meat back in just a minute. So we can warm it back up. There we go. Get that tossed in there so everything comes together. Look at that, huh? I think it looks phenomenal. Of course, I'm kind of biased because I'm the one cooking it. But, you know, teach their own. So now, I've said this before in some videos, and I'll mention it again just because in true Chinese hand-hammered woks that you'll find like in China, or if you spend the money to get one, they will have hand-hammered marks in them, like from the hammers. And those are great because they give you texture that will help hold your vegetables back and let the liquid run to the bottom. Well, unfortunately, most of them that you can buy in the US don't have that. But you still get some traction to hold your food to the side while you try to pull back your vegetables and let the liquid get to the bottom. And we're going to take our starch solution that we made and we're going to put that right in the bottom. Okay? Put that off to the side. Stir that in. Now as that heats up, what that's going to do is that's going to thicken all of that liquid. And that will form our sauce that'll stick to our food as that warms up. So we're going to give that just a minute on the bottom as we stir it in. Let that thicken up for just a moment or two. And then we're going to stir our food back into it. And that'll coat our food and give us that flavor that'll actually stick to the food, not run off on the bottom, I hope. That's the theory anyway. We're going to see what happens in just a minute here.
You want sad?
I'm sorry?
You want sad?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. All right, here we go. Toss that food. Get it all mixed in. And then we're going to test our theory by mixing all that in, and then we're going to pull the food to the back again, or to the sides, and see if there's any puddle left in the bottom. That should be taking care of it. I'm going to turn the fuel off real quick. I think we're about done. There, we got the fuel off on the bottom. We'll see what happens, huh? See if the barbecue man knows what the hell he's doing. Let's see. Let's pull our food back and see what happened to the liquid. Oh, look at there. It's pretty much gone.
Yep.
Hey, look at that. He knows what the heck he's doing. I think we can call this dish done, but we're going to find out. So we're going to pull this out of here. Let me clean up some dishes real quick. Put these over to the side. We're going to use our vegetable bowl because that just had vegetables in it. That's not cross-contaminated or anything. We're going to dump this. Oh man, I don't know if I can handle this with one hand. And it's left-handed too, because my right hand's still got... Boy. There we are. Holy smokes, Bullwinkle, it's heavy. It's probably hotter than the... Yeah, she's a little warm. There we go. Trying to get her in the right position. Everything will be just fine. There we go. Come on now. Come on out, everybody. Out of the pool. Closed for cleaning. Look at that, huh? I should have got my gloves up, but it will be okay. We're doing just fine without them. There we go. Let's put that back up there out of the way. Let's take a look at what we got, huh? Now, the important part isn't how it looks, though, because, I mean, presentation is very important. The important part is how it tastes. So we're going to grab a piece of the meat, maybe a bamboo shoot, and we'll see how it goes. I don't think I did too bad. Have a swing at it?
No.
All right for now? Oh, goodness gracious. Well, guys, there you can see with a little bit of preparation. Obviously, the King Cooker is pretty nice to use. But you don't need anything like that. You can do this in the house in a regular wok, which we did in a video from our vault recently with chicken. You can do this in a frying pan if you wanted to. Little preparation, taking your time, just putting it together, doing the things you need to do. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much. We appreciate you taking us in as part of your lives and taking the time out to watch our videos. Please like, share, subscribe, ring a ding that bell notification so you get notifications when we make another video. Comment below, let me know what you thought of this video or any of the videos that we have. Remember, gang, we did it. We know that you can do it too. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time.